Hello everybody. I want to talk a little bit more about Sable's progress on the ground. You may have watched one or two videos before about how we got started, and I just want to show you where we are moving towards right now. And so we usually start with the same hand walking or hand circling on the loose long lunge line around the arena for about 10 or 15 minutes. And then I will come in and ask her to pick up her feet when I use the touchier whip. And, sometimes there have been times when it was no problem. Other times she definitely had an opinion about it. And the important part is for me with a horse that's quote unquote shut down and goes inward when she gets stressed out. For me it's important to get what I'm asking for. In this case, when I touch with the whip, that she lifts her leg or that she moves it a little bit, and that she gets to have the opinion. In other words, if she wants to stomp or if she wants to kick out or do anything like that to express herself, I can't say no to that, because otherwise I kind of give such a mixed message that the horse really has no other choice other than to say either I'm going to fight this or I'm going to go inward where you can't reach me, right? And so I'm just going to go and say to her right now, how about lifting this one front leg? And I allow her to shift her weight a little bit so she can do it. So that's the one, exactly. And that's all. Very good. Nothing in a hurry. Very, very slow, unspectacular. Question, please move. She does and says yes, and then I say thank you. Good girl. Right? And she's just standing here very calmly. I have to make sure that she's positioned so that she can actually lift the leg that I'm asking her to lift. There you go. That's one more. Perfect. Very, very nice. Then I'm going to go back to her hind end, and I'm on her left side right now, which means it's the near side. And most horses are more comfortable with humans, doing anything with them or around them. Here, you see me just gently there. So that's that little touch, little movement. That's all I want. And there's just a little bit of tail swooshing, and if you look at her, ears are going back when I touch that leg, but she's not mad at it or frustrated or anything. So I'm just going to go and do it one more time here. Please just move that leg a little bit, and I'm just going to be, that is fine, because my next goal or my next request after I ask her to lift or move the leg just a little bit will be for her to go lift and maybe move forward, or lift and maybe go a little bit sideways, right? So that she translates the touch into movement, yes, but then also specifically more in which direction, right? And anything is really okay right now. The door is wide open for her to interpret this in any way that she wants. The only thing I would like for her not to do is to go backwards. When I touch and I invite her with my body language, and I'll show you in a moment, with a little bit of a circular, movement invitation, and she's stomping a little bit because of the flies right now. They're incessant, despite a fly spray and everything. But I just want to point that out, right? So I'm just going to ask her one more time here. Hind leg, can we have a little movement? Movement. Hello. Come. There you go. Very good. Good girl. And now I'm going to go to the other side, see what she says over here. This is the far side, the right side, where, sometimes the reactions are a little bit different, just because most horses aren't being handled that much. There you go. Thank you so much. Aren't handled that much from this side. And sometimes they're just a little bit, anticipating a little bit more, or, I'm going to ask the right hind leg now to move a little bit. I don't know if you can see that very well. Just gently tabbing. And there you could see it, like she's like here. And that's fine right now. I'm going to ask her again. Like I said, I ask her for a little bit of movement with that leg, and she's like, okay, that was not quite as bad, right? And we'll do it one more time. So a little bit of touching, and there it is. So now I'm going to take this whole thing onto, like I just said, onto a little bit of a circular movement pattern, where I will ask her just to come around me a little bit, and I will not yet ask with the whip really to move. I'll just apply the whip whenever, let's say if I want to activate the left hind leg right now, I will apply it as she has that foot on the ground, so that she will associate the touch with the movement that follows. And that's better than just going right in and, trying to smack, smack, smack and say, hey, move, move, move. We want to be in sync. We want to do this together. This is what I'm trying to say, right? Especially with a horse and a mare that is a little bit, shut down or a little bit cranky to start with. So what I'm doing right now, I'm going to just ask her to go a little bit crossing over here. Yeah. A little bit of crossing over. Yeah. But I do it when she's already in motion. I don't do it out of the standstill. That's really important. So I'm going to ask her to come forward, then turn her a little bit with the front, and then I'm going to touch a little bit here, touch a little bit. There you go. And that's the beginning of her accepting touch and associating it with movement. And why is this important? It's important because once I sit on her eventually and I work her under saddle, I want to be able to use my whips as guidance tools in the same way. And I will, when I touch, I want her to think, oh, a little bit more activity back there on that side or on the other side, wherever I touch her, and not having to compromise and get louder with my leg or with other aids, and just kind of say, here, hello, this is when I put my leg on. So the leg and the seat aid go, of course, always first. And then the whip is a little bit of an exclamation point, I always say. And it says, yes, I mean here, move here, right? And so now we're going to do it on the other side. And you will see that is not quite as agreeable sometimes. Yesterday we had a bit of a standoff. It happens, And so again, I invite her to come around here. Yeah, see, that's what I would love to avoid. Can't always do everything perfectly. That's why we're doing these videos. But I'm going to have to go say first forward and then touch, right? So she's a lot more flinchy and a lot more sensitive on this side. Again, this is the far side. This is the right side from where most horses are not handled a whole lot. So I'll get her to come a little bit my way. And I'm a little bit in sort of that critical spot when I'm too far in front of her. She'll go like, oh my God, what do you want from me? And that feels like I put pressure on her and want her to go backwards. So I have to make sure with my body that I'm at least here by the shoulder axis. And then I give her a lot of room with my line here. I step back a little bit. I touch a little bit here. And that's all I'm asking for her on this side right now. I'm going to do it again in a moment here. I'm going to step into the shoulder, turn my eyes onto her eyes, and it's almost as if I'm going to say, yeah, it's almost as if I'm going to say to her, go off into a circle, to go into a lunge circle, for example. And these are the beginning parts. It's obviously we're in the very beginning of it. And like I said yesterday, we had a lot more to say about all of this. Unfortunately, I didn't have the camera with me. But today I have something where I can say, okay, we're in the right direction, right? It's acceptance of communication tools rather than saying, you must, or else, I'm just having this conversation with her, and right now she's kind of mellow, standing there. That's all I want. And then we're going to go into the rest of our lunging routine. But this is an important part, and I wanted you guys to see, that sometimes spending a little time on these details will pay off in a big way later on when you ride. And I will continue to document what we're doing so that you can see the red thread through all of this, which is, of course, that I, as the human, will be the leader, and the leader is always in charge of speed and direction, whether I'm on the ground or under saddle. And to what degree and how specific and all these different things can be has to do with, how much have you talked about it in detail with your horse. You can't suddenly say, oh, I want her to be fine-tuned and attentive and all these good things when you haven't had these conversations before you actually went into this dance together, right? So much about all of that today. Hope this was interesting to you and maybe inspirational. And happy horsemanship, happy riding, happy day. Thank you, Sable. Good girl.